Hi, sixth graders. Let's take a tour of the McGraw Hill student portal. I'm going to put on my browser. I'm going to use Chrome. Chrome works very well with McGraw Hill. So if you struggle with another browser, please try Chrome. On my website, so I'm going to go to teacherweb.com, I do have at the bottom left Connect Ed, and that's where we're going, Connect Ed. And about the middle of the page, right here in the middle of the page, there is a McGraw Hill student login link. Let's click there. Okay, I'm going to go up to the address on the website. So this is where you need to get connected.mcgraw-hill.com/connected/login.do. Okay, so make sure you're there, however you got there, and bookmark it right now. You're going to be on this website pretty much every day. You don't want to be looking for it. Okay, so everybody's bookmarked? Okay. I gave you something in class with your username and password. Remember that it is case sensitive, so I am going to log in as a pretend student. This is no student in the class, by the way. I'm going to log in. You're going to see 3 books right now on my video because I teach Algebra and Math 8, but you're only going to see California Math Course 1. Click on that, please. Click on the book. And this is your dashboard or your home. It's very streamlined, so you have to click down on things to get things. I've already got it on Chapter 3 because we decided as a 6th grade group to start with Chapter 3. Chapter 3 is computing with multi-digit numbers. If I wanted to go to let's say Chapter 4, multiplying and dividing fractions, it will go to Chapter 4. Let me reboot it. There it is, Chapter 4. Okay, so I want to stay at Chapter 3. There I am at Chapter 3. Okay, and I'm on the chapter overview, but I've decided, you know what we did in class? We did adding and subtracting, so I'm going to go to adding and subtracting. So now that means Chapter 3, Lesson 1. Okay, so that's the first thing you need to know. That's where it is right now. So let's go to the ebook. Here's the ebook. Can you see my cursor? And I'm going to click on it. Depending on your internet speed, it's going to take a few minutes to load the ebook. Notice the tab. Notice what it's called. Launch.html ? Because sometimes students last year said, I don't know what happened to the ebook. That's what the tab would look like. Okay, look where it brought me. Surprise. Add and subtract decimals. Now let's pretend that wasn't where I wanted to be. So again, it brings you right to the point of the book where you were on the dashboard. So let's say, oh no, what I really wanted to be again was in Chapter 4, multiply and divide fractions. So that's one way. So watch one more time. This will be hidden. Click on the table of contents and you can go anywhere in the table of contents. I really don't want to be in multiply and divide, so I'm going to go back to, let's go back, go up, sorry, they changed this from last year, go up, and now it'll be back to the chapters, and I want to be back to Chapter 3. Okay, so again, I had to go back up like a back button. Okay, so now let's say I want to change the page, and I know what page I want to be on. So let's say I know I want to be on page 181. So another way to just change the page is to go right down here, page 181, and that was your homework for Chapter 3-1, right? Page 181, 1 through 11, etc. Okay, why is this nice? Because Mrs. Soberia, we have the printed book. Well, here's why it's nice. You're at Grandma's house. You don't have your book. You always have your book. As long as you know your login and as long as you have internet, you always have the book. Here's what else is kind of nice. Look what happens here. There are icons on the back, and if you hover, it'll tell you what they mean. So if I go to eHelp right now, the little house, it's going to give me the worked out answers to 3 and 7. Watch. Notice that on the McGraw Hill website, it usually gets to a page like this. Then you have to press this little cog, and say open the resource. And look what it is. It's the worked out answer step by step, number 3 and number 7. I'm going to click out of that. I'm going to take that tab out. Okay, there are 2 ways to get back home. One is to use the back button, but watch as I open up the menu. On the menu, there is a home key. And when you go home, you get back to the dashboard. Okay, so what did I just show you? I showed you the ebook. Why did I show you that's nice? Because you can use it anywhere, and because whatever is attached, oh, let's hit tutor. So what should come out right now are the tutors for lesson 3-1, and in fact, that's what it is. Look, chapter 3, lesson 1, here are our tutors. How to add decimals, how to subtract decimals. Let me just click on the subtracting decimals. So this is Mrs. Workman, and so I'm going to open her up. And you're going to get a very short video on how to subtract 9 and 537 thousandths minus 5 and 315 thousandths. I'm going to drag it forward a little bit and show you that you're going to see like a crayon, or she's writing, she's telling you to line up the decimals, etc. Okay, I'm going to click out of that. By the way, here's another place that you can go change chapters. Watch. I'm going to change from chapter 3 to chapter 4. Look, all of these change because now we're in chapter 4. I'm going to change from the chapter 4 overview to lesson 3, multiplying fractions. It will change again. Okay, so I'm going to go back home. Okay, so what have we done? We've looked at the ebook together, and now take a look at this. These are those same icons that you saw in the ebook. Vocab, I'm hovering. Watch. Tutors. Toolkit, if your teacher uses that. And the check. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go back to chapter 3 again, because that's what we're starting with. And I'm going to hit my, reboot button. So now it's chapter 3. And I want to not do the chapter overview. I want to do lesson 1. That's what we did in class, adding and subtracting. And watch what happens. I'm going to hit tutor now. And it's going to be Mrs. Workman again. It's a different way to get there. I'm going to go use my back button to go back to the dashboard. Let's go to watch. This is watch. Okay, and on watch, there's a little short video. It's called Your Graphic Novel. And it's they're kind of cute, and it'll kind of talk about something to do with adding and subtracting with basically a cartoon. Okay? Okay, I'm going to go back. Okay? The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at homework. It says you should be doing the 3-1 self-check quiz. So what I'm going to do, because there's nothing to click on, okay? So I'm going to go to menu. I'm going to go to homework. And now look, when you do it that way, you actually get the homework. And it says, take this self-check quiz, then click the button at the bottom, etc., etc., etc. So we're going to take the quiz. I'm going to open the resource. And these self-check quizzes in my class are part of your homework grade. You have to do one every time we finish a lesson. So this is lesson 3-1. There are 5 of them. The first one says, find the difference of 4 3/10 and 52 hundredths. So I'll give you a moment to find that. We're only going to do one. We're not going to do this whole quiz together. So go ahead and line up the decimals. And you should have gotten 3 78 hundredths. There are hints. I don't know that the hints are that great. Like for number 2, let's look at what the hint says. Line up the decimals. I mean, it doesn't actually show you the worked out answers like eSolutions does. Okay, so let's pretend I'm done. We're going to click on something called Check It at the bottom. And it says, wait, there are unanswered questions. Do you want to submit? Let's pretend I say yes. I did not do well. I got a 20% because I only answered one question. So look what it lets you do. It lets you infinitely try again. I'm going to try again. Notice the questions are a little different now. That one that we already answered, by the way, is over here. The difference of 4.3 and 52 hundredths. And the answers are also scrambled. But now this is a new one, the sum of. So the sum of, so we're adding. So we're adding 65 and 1700ths, and we're adding that to 8 and 400ths. And we're getting 73 and 2100ths. Okay, we just don't have time on this video. I'm going to check it. And I'm going to submit it. So I did better. I doubled my score, 40%. Okay, in my class, you don't want to submit this until you want to keep trying again and trying again until you get 80% or more. Let's pretend you did. You would put in your name, your first and last name. You would put in your email address. I'm just going to pretend it's joecool@, and then I'm just going to put a bunch of dots, whatever your student email is, not your AOL email, not your Gmail, other than your student one, right? And then you're going to email it to me. So here's my email address, msoberai@lvusd.org. Now watch what happens when you send this. A pop-up will pop up, and you have to have pop-up enabled. If you don't know what that means, okay, you need to talk to your parents. And it says your results have been sent. And so I know that Mrs. Soberai got it. Let's click out of that. And let's click out of, this is the ebook again. Let's click out of the ebook. I'm going to leave this page. Okay. There is also a due later. So there's going to be lots of things in there. I haven't put too many things in this because you haven't been able to get on yet. So always, if you see due later, also click on that and it will open up. But it's not doing that because I didn't put anything in there right now. I'm going to put the e-solutions. What are the e-solutions? The e-solutions are the worked out step-by-step solutions to every problem. Okay, I'm going to click out of that. I'm back at my dashboard. So we talked about the homework. We talked about how you should get to it that way. Oh, let's just see what happens if you click on Connect Ed. Oh my gosh, you got back here. Well, that's kind of useless to you. So you do not want to do this, okay? Do not want to do this. Okay, you want to stay here. Okay, so we talked about this. Okay, so let's go to menu. There's something, we talked about homework. We don't want to do that. We talked about home. Let's go to resources. When you click on resources, that happens a lot, by the way. So don't be upset. It does happen. Just log in again. You'll get to know your login really well because when the McGraw Hill website is full, a lot of times it kicks you out. Okay, and so I'm really glad it just did that. So let's go to resources. Okay, look at resources. I'm going to go to chapter 3. I'm going to drag down to lesson 1. And look at the results per page, 12. Always click down and make it 48. And so now it goes all the way down and it has everything that's available. Look, there's Mrs. Workman again. Yeah, it's another different way. There's our step-by-step solutions. Okay, so let's look at all these resources. Let's click on check. The check will be the self-check for that lesson. In my class, you always need to do this, so that's one way to get to it. You don't have to wait for me to assign it. That's how you get to it. Same thing we just did, look. Okay, so I'm going to click out of that. Wait, what did we do again, Mrs. Soberai? Let's go to all resources, and we pressed on check, and that will always give you to that lesson self-check. Let's go to all resources again. eHelp, we know 6th graders what eHelp is, right? It's the step-by-step solutions for that homework. McGraw Hill always solves two homework problems. So this one was number 3 and number 7. I'm going to click out of that. I'm going to go back to all resources. Let's see what else we've got for the chapter. We've got something for English language learners. It's really for the teacher to help deal with students, so that really isn't helpful to you. But response to intervention is something I do use. There are 2 of them. One of them, if I click on this, I'll get this worksheet in Word and I can print it out for you. And the other one is worksheet is going to be online. Watch what happens when I open this one up. This is great for parents helping you. This is great for your tutors if you have one helping you. Often I will print this out for you if we're reviewing because it gives 2 examples on how to do the problem, and then it actually gives you some problems to practice, okay? So that was a good one. Let's go to all resources again. Tools, I'm not going to go over tools. It's the virtual manipulatives, and if we use it, we'll use it. The tutors, Mrs. Workman again, and Mr. Hardy, and whatever, all resources. So see how you have multiple ways to get to one thing. Let's go to vocab. This is a multilingual one, and if I open this up right now, it's in so many different languages. You have to select the grade, grade 6. You have to look at all the choices of the languages, but I'm going to keep it in English. And I'm going to click on Go. And now I can click on any letter. Let's say I want to find what the median means. So here I have median, and it will give me a definition. And it'll actually even let me listen to the word if I want to. Okay, I'm going to click out of that. And I'm going to go back to all resources. And now worksheets. Okay, boys and girls, worksheets. I'm going to assign these. And at the very beginning here, I'm going to pretty much print these out for you. So these are just all the worksheets that are available. You're pretty much never going to do this on your own. I would assign it to you. Okay, so let's go all resources. Okay, and so we want to go home. What do? Menu, home. Okay, so that's how we get home. Let's go menu, one last one, glossary. Now notice how this doesn't look like this ABC. That ABC is the one that you just saw with all the different languages. Let's click on this glossary because it's a little different, and it's great. It only has 2 languages though, English and Spanish, and you don't have to say that this is 6th grade because it already knows that. And so let's go back to find the median again. So let's find that again, and now it's a glossary as opposed to the one that you had before where you could listen to it. Okay, so let's go home again. Actually, we're already home, and that completes our tour. So again, you can ask questions in class, but that should have helped you a lot. So this completes your tour. We'll see you in class.